Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 5 Minutes of Math. This is Mr. Lunsford, and I am glad you joined me this evening. Tonight's homework is for the evening of February 28th, and we are looking at a few more composite shapes. Let's get started. And I also wanted to let you know, I am going to divide this video. I really didn't like doing a 15-minute video. It's supposed to be 5 minutes, so I'm going to try to stick to that, even if it means I got to split them. So I'm going to do just problem 18 tonight, and I'm going to do part 2 and do problem 20, so you guys can have it in smaller bites. Okay, all right, here we go. This is number 18, and we're starting off with a trapezoid, and unfortunately we can't treat it like a trapezoid. When I first looked at this problem, I thought to myself, this is going to be very quick, because we're going to get that bottom length, we're going to get that top length, and we'll be able to apply that trapezoid formula. And that's not the case, and sometimes it won't be. So if you take a look at this, we've got two shapes in this particular trapezoid. We can find a rectangle and we can find a triangle. The rectangle is on the left, triangle is on the right. And since we don't have to divide the shape, I didn't highlight it, but those are our two shapes. So now we have the area of our rectangle, length times width, and the book doesn't tell us what our width is, and the width isn't anywhere in the diagram. We know it's 8 times something, but the book does tell us that the area of the rectangle is 32 feet squared. So that allows us to do a little bit of reasoning to figure out what that length is going to be. I'm sorry, what that width is going to be. So here we go. Length times width equals 32. So we know 8 times W is 32. If you divide both sides by 8, and yes, that's that division property of equality again, you'll find out that W, our width, is 4 feet. So 4 feet. All right, we can reason backward to find that missing value. All right, so 8 times W equals 32, and just divide both sides by 8. I don't have my line in there for some reason, but that's what we have. So now we know that the rectangle has a width of 4 feet, a length of 8 feet, and we also have our two legs of that right triangle. So let's go on. What else does that tell us? Well, we now can fill in our area of our rectangle, 8 times 4, plus the area of our triangle. And the formula for an area of a triangle, of course, is 0.5 times 3, which is our base, times our height, which we now know is 4 feet, and that's going to give us the total area of this entire figure. All right, now we start simplifying. 32 plus 0.5 times 12 equals our total area. 32 plus 6 equals our total area, and at last 38 feet squared is our total area. And that's the area of this shape. Now, we're looking at perimeter now, all right? So that's the distance around the figure. Now, we can also surmise that, see where I've added in the extra 4 and the 8? We know that we have a 4-foot side on our left because that side is congruent to that blue 4 feet. It's a rectangle. Both of those widths have to be the same. And if you look at that 8 at the top, we know that the top of a rectangle is congruent to the bottom. So the top of that rectangle is also 8 feet. Now, we need to know one more thing. And do you all remember this? This is the hypotenuse. And this goes all the way back to the first 9 weeks when we were talking about the Pythagorean theorem. And yes, believe it or not, sometimes the book will ask you to do that. You may have to draw on another skill. So how do we find the length of what we now know is a hypotenuse? The Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Thankfully though, we don't have to do any math, because if we have taken a good long look at the Pythagorean theorem, which I know you all have, you recognize that as a Pythagorean triple, a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. Okay, so if we have a right triangle with legs of 3 and 4, the hypotenuse is going to be 5. And that's why we know that 5 feet is the length of our missing side. Okay? All right. Going on. All we have to do now is add the sides and find the perimeter. So I'm going to start with the bottom of our rectangle. So I'm starting with 8 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 4 equals 28 feet And it's not feet squared, it's just 28 feet. We're only going in one direction, not two. So we're just going, drawing a line. If we were doing area where we're looking at length and width, then it would be feet squared. So the perimeter is 28 feet. The area is 38 feet squared. That's it for number 18. All right, we keep it short and sweet, and that's it. You all take care, and remember, math is not just about numbers, it's about the relationships that surround us every day. Have a good one.